Admit it. Sometimes we just hear a person nagging or rambling or just talking too much, and we deep inside, or not so deep inside, we just really want that person to shut up. In Spanish, just like in English, there are polite and less polite ways to communicate this to someone. Hola mi gente y bienvenidos a Spring Spanish. I'm Paulísima and I'm one of the 5 Spanish teachers that here at the Spring Spanish YouTube channel para acompañarte en tu viaje a dominar el idioma más bonito del mundo, que es el español. In this video, I'll give you 4 chunks of Spanish to make sure that person knows that you want them to stop talking. We'll start calmly but go stronger and ruder with each one. So in case they don't really want to listen, with chunk 4, you're pulling out the big guns. Careful, use at your own risk, especially the last chunk. You risk getting into a fight or being like slapped in the face if you use the last one because, well, it's a bit rude. So let's say you're meeting someone, you start talking, they start talking, and all of a sudden they say something that leaves you like, what the f***? Hola, ¿qué onda? ¿Cómo estás? Oye, te ves súper bien. ¿Tú también? ¿Bajaste de peso? No, soy normal. No, si te ves más delgada, como que te ves como diferente. So you politely, with a full smile on your face and this gesture, you say, ay, ¿qué cosas dices? Número 1, ay, ¿qué cosas dices? This is a very good way to let people know that they just said something that you didn't quite appreciate. You're literally telling them, oh, the things you say. Pay attention to the feeling that you put in the word ay. Remember that in Spanish, we use the interjection ay just the way you might use the interjection oh. I'm sure you have heard this word ay in one of our most famous songs in Mexico. It's actually an anthem of what it means to be Mexican, you know, and an anthem for Mexicanidad. You know, it goes something like, ay, 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 canta y no llores. Let's use it one more time. Ay, mira, pero qué bien te ves con esos kilitos de menos. Ay, qué cosas dices. Sí. When you say, ay, ¿qué cosas dices? You are pointing to the fact that something wrong was said, something wrong or something off was said, but you're still willing to carry on the conversation. Granted, those things that person is saying, stop being said. Ay, suscríbete al canal, porfis. I mean, if you're liking this video so far and you want to make sure we are able to continue bringing this kind of content, there you go. There you go. Please. Ándale, suscríbete. Now, let's see how our friendly conversation continues. No, si estás más delgada, algo te hiciste. Te ves como menos cachetona, ¿no? Como you are getting a little bit more annoyed already. Pero cuentas hasta 10 y te calmas and you don't say what you really want to say. You say, hay que cambiar de tema. Número 2. Hay que cambiar de tema. We can use this chunk when we're kind of sure that the conversation is going to places where we don't want it to go. Te ves como rara, Paulísima. ¿Te pusiste Botox? Es Botox, ¿verdad? Hay que cambiar de tema. Or maybe it's like a more serious matter, but you still don't want to talk about that. Like, ¿escuchaste lo que dijo el presidente esta mañana? Hay que cambiar de tema, por favor. I love this chunk. Hay que cambiar de tema. I like it because it's very direct, but it is still very polite. Learn this phrase by heart because not only you will be learning how to make people shush it, but you're also helping your brain how to use the Spanish equivalent of let's and we have to, and you're also learning a very familiar way to bypass the harshness of an imperative. All of that without having to think about any of the grammar terms. This is how chunks work. Want to learn some useful chunks that you can use in any conversation? then make sure you follow the link that appears in our description. It will lead you to our website where you can download not only the chunks from this video but from other videos, and they're super useful. Trust me, go there, download it. Okay, time to see what happens with our little conversation. No, dime, ándale. Algo te hiciste. Sí es Botox, ¿verdad? Sí es Botox. Ya, güey, ya. En serio, no me he hecho nada. ¿O sí? Número 3. Ya, güey, ya. Ya, güey, ya. Because the first two didn't work, we have to get a little bit more direct. Inside, you really want to say, shut up, pero you don't say it. Instead, you say, ya, güey, ya. Ya means something like enough already, and güey, that's Mexican slang for like dude or brother or mate. You get the drill, right? You can use this chunk when like a friend of yours is teasing you, you know, like when we were in primary school and we would say something like, Paulísima tiene novio, Paulísima tiene novio. And you're like, ya, güey, ya. Best part of ya, güey, ya is that it's also used to tell somebody to stop it already, like stop it. And that's the way this super famous kid, Mexican kid Edgar, used it in what became one of Mexico's first viral YouTube videos. Check it out. You can make this chunk stronger if you add the phrase en serio, at the beginning or at the end of it. Like, en serio, ya, güey, ya. Or, ya, güey, ya. En serio. That way, you make sure that they know that now you're getting serious. I mean, you were serious since the beginning, but now you're serious. Ay, ya dime. Hey, si te pusiste Botox, ¿verdad, maldita? En serio, güey. Ya, en serio. Now, at this point, your friend, who probably won't be your friend after this encounter, notice your hostility and says, ¡ay! ¿Por qué tan agresiva? Yo solamente estoy diciendo que, bueno, hace tiempo que no te veía y ahora que te veo, pues te ves un poquito menos cachetona, ¿no? Como diferente. ¡Ya cállate! ¡Ya cállate! Número 4. Cállate o ya cállate. Straight up, it means shut up or shut up already. And yeah, sometimes you just have to say it, right? Now, imagine you are in a situation where you really have to make sure that that person shuts the F up. You can add this phrase at the end of cállate. Cállate el hocico. Cállate el hocico. Oh my god, it's so rude. These are like the major leagues of telling somebody to shut up in Spanish. You're literally telling that person to shut their snout. Yeah, like you're calling them an animal. I mean, even if there's no vulgar language being said, this phrase is super offensive. And to be honest, I've never been in a situation where I had to use it, but make no mistake. If I'm ever in a situation where I have to use it, I will use it. I will. So this was Paulísima's guide on how to lose a friend in 10 minutes. Now it's quiz time! Pregunta número 1. Remember what chunks you have to use if you want the other person to change the subject? If you said hay que cambiar de tema, you got it right. Pregunta número 2. Which one would a Mexican say? Ay, no, por favor, or oh, no, por favor. Yes, it's ay, canta y no llores. Yeah, we don't say oh, we say ay with emotion. Ay! Pregunta número 3. What is this lady, Doña Lucha, saying? If you don't know who Doña Lucha is, well, ask me in the comments. I'll explain to you everything about that. But in the meantime, tell me, what is she saying? That's right. She's saying, oh, the things you say, but she's saying it in Mexican. Pregunta número 4. How do we say, stop it already, dude, en español? TikTok, 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 TikTok. Ya, güey, ya. With this chunk, people will stop talking for sure. But if what you want is not them to stop talking, but actually talking more, and you want them to clarify what they were saying, you could say ¿Qué? But that's a bit boring and you can do better. So I want you to go check out my next video where you will discover 5 different ways to tell people that you're not understanding what they're saying without saying the boring yet common ¿qué? Okay? I'll see you there. Check it out. You're gonna like it. I promise. Click on the image. Click on the image. This was Paulísima y fue un placer estar con ustedes. Hasta la próxima.